At least one more best of 3 takes us to like 3 hours. It feels a bit more reasonable. I always feel like anything below 3 hours just feels like a little bit too short of a stream, you know? Alright. And away we go. Off we rumble. And into game number 1 of this final best of 3. Man, the delay on the subs today is insane. I just heard the sub sound, I was like, oh, a sub. And I was like, nope, that's the sub I already shouted out a minute ago. Oh, yeah, getting baited by my own, I don't even know, overlay, I guess. It's keeping me alert. It's like, yo, you've got money. I'm like, yeah. It's like, no, just kidding. I'm like, bro. That was almost plus $3, you know? Alright. Let's have a peek then at what PvZ is going to give us here as we get this up and underway. It's going to be having ourselves the pro pulling down the low ground, the gateway coming up, and the simulator coming through. And settled across the board there to start us off. Nothing really too wild just yet. As we do have our gateway coming down. Again, probe coming up, hatch, gas, and pool all on the way in. So bringing a lot of this online for the moment as we get settled down. Nexus will start as well. And probe on into that. Final decided match as the hatchery number 3 will come down here. So just going to get that 3rd hatch down nice and quickly. MaxPax just no presence across the map, funnily enough. It's a little bit interesting, isn't it? No scouting at all from MaxPax. Not necessarily the way I'd 100% expect him to be going about things, but here we are. As it used to the Stargate coming up. What, are you still playing hardcore WoW? No, I kind of quit because I realized I probably wasn't going to make it to any raids or anything, so I lost a bit of motivation, and I also started playing... I also got into Marvel Rivals, and I started playing a lot of Marvel Rivals with my free time on the PC. So I kind of just... I kind of stopped for a bit, and I feel like it's one of those things that once you stop, it's kind of hard to go back to. That's so funny because I was like, I literally went from like just grinding it to like, I was just suddenly done. And yeah, I was really enjoying it too. Now I have no motivation to get back to it though. I just started a bit too late. Like no one was really doing like the lower level dungeons and stuff in the guild and stuff as well. So it just kind of felt like, yeah, it was just like questing alone. This one though. While it lasted, I just I'm kind of done with it for now. Stalker gonna go, take away at the Overlord. Overlord's gonna get chased, as we do see the couple of Lings and the Queen are gonna be there to tackle the Adept. So the Adept taking some shots, taking some big hits. And Ling speed coming through, the couple of Queens coming up. We had a drone on in as well. Oracle flying across. Queen going to be right there, and the Oracle does just fly in for... Ends up taking some free shots. Going to turn and fight the Queen! And Solo's like, wait a second, no, that's not good for me. Oh my god, Oracle just realizes the opportunity, and a single Queen goes down. My goodness, that is absolutely brutal. Well, the Queen goes down, and cause some other chaos. This Oracle wins out in the end. Definitely not a bad start for MaxPax to just get things underway. And obviously on his way to the Twilight Council. And we saw actually the importance of Queens, not just obviously if you're ninjax and creep, but in that last game the Queens really put up a good brick wall of a front line against Sound, which allowed kind of Solo to survive until more hydras came out. And, you know, should a similar situation arise, then I think Solo would be obviously in a little bit of trouble. You know, obviously one Queen may not make all the difference, but, you know, again, just trying to emphasize the importance of a Queen and just saying, you know, don't let that count for nothing. That's a fairly decent pick-off. And the earlier you make that pick-off, the less energy you're generating off Queens as well, so that's a big deal too. There's the Glaives from MaxPax though, so he goes Oracle into Glaives, 2 Oracles into Glaives even, so not even going to try and hide it from the Overlords, but I don't think Solo has an Overlord nearby, so yeah, he's not going to be able to scout this at all. That means that MaxPax will get away with going straight to Glaives here, and if you don't know about this as Solo, This is troubling. I mean, Lair on the way up, he's building Burrow. I don't know if that's a fake out or if he actually wants to try and utilize that, but this is not something... I mean, in a funny way, it can be used against what MaxPax is doing because you can use it to hide units. You know, burrow drones and then they won't be attackable, but then you're putting money into that rather than putting money into, you know, roaches and so on. So I think it's fair to say that overall this is not necessarily going to turn out the best for you as the Lings and the Hydra Den come up. He cancelled the... He actually ends up cancelling the burrow upgrades. I think that was more of a mistake than an intention. Now the Resonating Glaive is finishing. The Adept's coming across the map. Only Lings in production. The Hydra Den will finish soon, but not having any roaches at all to help with this is going to be a tough reality here for Solar, as these Adepts are just going to go running through, get past the Queens, going to start fighting against some of the Lings out here as well. We're not choked up or anything though, and now the next wave of Adepts has to come from quite far away too. Actually lose 7 probes to the harassment that Solar provides, and MaxPax loses all of his Adepts. A disaster across the board. Wow. Solar just completely shut this down. I think MaxPax got a little bit caught up with the run by, and because of that, he was not doing the best with those Adepts. They ran straight past the Queens at first, which I thought was fine, but then he engages into Lings in an open area. It's really not great, and that is a fantastic defense from Solar here in this opening game. And just a best of 3, so there's a chance or an opportunity to have some exciting stuff happen. A couple of Adepts just warp in. And you see the +1 and the Blink continuing to come about, the extra gates coming online. Hydras, Mystical Augments, and Overlord and Zerglings all being added on for the moment. Continue to bring a lot of this through as those Hydras gather up together. There's a lot of Hydras collecting then as they get to the other side. No speed upgrade on them yet as Solar looks for the attack through. It's funny, I mean, there's some Adepts here from MaxPax, but against this amount of Hydras, I don't think you can ever look at these Adepts and think they're going to succeed for you. As we all break through toward the natural. Good force field, but it does let a few Lings in already. So not the best. Good idea of the force field, but let's see how we do here. The Lings actually need to come and protect the Hydras a little bit. The Hydra count is very important to keep high. And obviously letting Adepts just swing at the Hydras is not exactly going to do a lot for that. The Immortal going to get caught towards the natural, though. The Lings are going to try and make an effort there. We're going to turn back around. Obviously, Solar is splitting his attention, trying to go up into the natural while also defending the units coming down from the third base. He's going to lose out on these Hydras on the low ground, though, and I think Solar's just allowed himself to get 2 split up as MaxPax makes a very good defense so far. He has lost 18 probes. I mean, that's just going to keep them equal in workers, though, and now MaxPax on his way to Colossus. His tech improving to a point where Hydras are going to become a lot more obsolete in the game, so that's going to become a lot tougher. And charge continues to come by for the moment. Just gonna see the few Hydras coming about again. I mean, just gets so much more difficult though with the Colossus being out. And we're gonna try and dive over to this right-hand side. Can we turn on the Colossus? A few more probes going down. I just try and chase the Colossus, doing what they can, but the Colossus just owns Hydras. It really does. And the Hydras are getting taken out as they chase it away. I mean, you open up some space to maybe start killing off some more probes. So that ain't bad. It's damage being done, right? You're going to kill another 20 workers here. MaxPax's third is falling, which kind of leads you to the point where you probably do eventually just overwhelm this as the Zerg player. But man, this was not easy. I really felt like with the way he defended it first and how bad it was for MaxPax, this was going to be a much more difficult defense to begin with. I mean, even right now, you can see the 2 Colossus definitely have potential as they shove units away already, acting very scary. Queens gather up, Hydras and the Roaches gather. Let's see this army's continue to step through, so just going to step on forward. The Roach Hydra trying to get forward towards the Colossus as well. A couple more shots coming about. I mean, Solo's still keeping the pressure up on the other side. No third base coming back online. The Ling's making sure of it. MaxPax basically forced to be all in, but turning around. I'd say with the 3 Colossus, I felt as though there was always going to be some opportunity for him, if nothing else. Not quite the case currently, though, as Roach and Hydra split up a bit. The Prism going to move through as well. Adept's unload. Just going to jump onto the Queen. And away we go. Again, a couple of Lings going to go nibbling onto the Assimilator. Let me gather that back up. Drones continuing to build. Evolution Chamber, Infestation Pit coming up as well. This is where MaxPax runs into trouble, right? Because Solo's obviously just got a full 3-base economy, 4 bases even up. So as some mineral lines desaturate, he can resaturate those workers elsewhere. He can just have enough units, I think, to fight through this. Now, it's still tough, though. 3 Colossus, a Disruptor, Archons. I'd feel a lot better for Solo if he had the Vipers, which is what he's slowly getting to with that Hive coming online. I can't imagine he's rushing to anything else other than just some Vipers here. As long as MaxPax backs away, you get time to get to Vipers, and I think that's going to be huge. Colossus come down. A couple of Creep Tumors getting picked away at as well. And we'll try to Ravager, going to turn again. A couple of Corrosive Vials. Oh, we hit the Colossus! Well, you get attack unit low, that's going to do very nice for you. We're actually going to make our way to a Lurker Den, which I guess in the long term is the safest way. I do think just a Viper-based attack would be enough here, but a Lurker Den puts you into a position where you're even more likely to basically be able to win out as well, so that is a big factor on top of everything else. The shot fires through, just going to be seeing a couple of hits coming about. The Roach Ravager trying to go on the other side. Oh my god, that's a beautiful Disruptor shot dead center onto that army. That's exactly why, as Solo, you probably are a little bit afraid of committing to an attack, but that's also why the Vipers make their life so much easier. You don't have to get as close to actually make impact. Files again. Going to be decent, at least lands one onto that army, so able to get a little bit more done. The Roach is going to be there fighting back. Seismic Spines and Vipers coming up at a Lurker, all 5 on as well as everything else. And that is where we continue to head for the moment, as we just see the Disruptor continuing to come out and about. More Corrosive Files, so again, just going to try and keep things at bay as MaxPax starts to attack in. Big attack on MaxPax's third base, so he pretty much is forced to be all in again, but I think as Solo, you might just have to give up this base and just say, well, my Lurkers are almost upgraded, my Vipers are getting energy, they're almost ready. You give up a base, you're still going to be 3 bases to the 2. You've still got units across the map that are going to be a challenge for, you know, Solo to deal with. That Disruptor just donates itself, so the Lurkers get the job done there without really being needing to do much. And MaxPax just turns back home once more. Like I say, he's a little bit stuck right here, and I imagine in his head he's like, I don't really know what to do. I'm on 2 bases, so retreating isn't great. But he's up onto Lurkers and Vipers. Like, he's got the tech that stops you from really ending this game at all. So, across the board, it's, you know, a very difficult position right now, to say the least. You see the couple High Templar continue to come about. Most Lurkers are going to unburrow and relocate elsewhere as we run across into position to try and do a little extra. Army still moving through the center of the map, and this force of MaxPax. Don't get me wrong, this army of MaxPax is still scary. Like I say, with all of the tech involved in it, you've still got to respect it. The last thing you want to do right now is just be like, ah, this is fine, and just, you know, YOLO into it. Obviously, the High Templars are there waiting for the feedbacks to stop these Vipers from being able to abduct. But we did get the first abduct off. The second abduct gets denied by the feedback. Again, this is the issue of now having to play against the Lurkers, and this is exactly why, obviously, the Lurkers were a good pull, and a very safe pull, because it means they're always going to be available to fight the army, whereas the Vipers could have some way been denied. I don't think he would have had feedbacks if we'd just gone for Viper timing originally, because it would have hit so much sooner. As MaxPax's army goes down here, Solar is going to take an opening game, and MaxPax is on the verge of elimination here in this group stage, as he needs to now win 2 games back-to-back to be able to come on through. If we get ourselves an upset, or if we get ourselves a bounce back. In the bottom left-hand side of the map, our blue Zerg player is going to be Solar with a 1-game lead, and now just needs 1 map out of 2 out of these next couple of maps to advance through to the playoffs alongside Hero from Group A. In the top right, our red Protoss player is MaxPax. Corona boost and get underway. Engage probe coming about, a few drones coming up. Getting that all settled in for a few moments. We got the assimilator down as well, so just going to get that all started up and see where we are going to go. It's so fun just having a bit more variety again. Like, actually being able to go into some of these matches and just knowing that it's not just, yeah, this guy's going to advance and so on. Get a little bit more exciting again. I'm a fan of it. You just have a couple of drones nibbling, the probe coming about. Pulling around the back side of this main base. Just for a few moments, that probe coming back around the other way. Coming across once more, and we just have ourselves, again, the spawning pool coming up, hatchery coming online, a couple of overlords in production as well, add a cybercore in. A lot of that coming through for the moment as the probe gets back from the main to the third. A little bit of back and forth then, nothing really too much. I really am describing what's going on the screen. As you guys know, one of my favorite ways of casting. Hello, Ellie. Oh, Ellie with a rare appearance while I do not have food. That's incredible. And she's gone. It did not last long. She's like, oh, you don't have food. Right, I see. Hi. Ay. Right, Adept pops in. We do begin to move on forward with this to see if there's some potential to go and get some damage done. Second Adept and the Stargate. Choice of MaxPax here early. Toggle coming about. The Adept and the Warp Gate still coming through. We have the link speed on as well. Since the Adept still continue to move through for a few moments. So again, a little bit of back and forwards, and we just need to settle in, see where we can get to. And the Oracle overhead can activate toward a few of those circlings, so able to put some damage out. Here, out of the group already. Yeah, he already advanced. Speedy day. Fortunately for you, if you missed it, you can go watch the VODs, although... yeah, the Hero MaxPax series was kind of fun, actually, but I do think our first few series of the day are not ones you necessarily want to go catch up on. If you do want to watch VODs, they're fully available on YouTube and Twitch. The earlier start was a bit too early for you. Nexus coming into the front, that triangular setup getting going. Twilight Council, Forge, Nexus all building, and an Adept on at the Nexus on. A few additional drones building from Solar currently, with the Queen and Overlord a part of that. right now. Push back a little bit. Again, the leg continues to come through. We have got the Adepts going to shade forward. The Oracle dropping a little revelation on some... I think there's some units there, not just the rocks that he revelated. Well, he revelates rocks again. Maybe he's into revealing rocks. Weird thing to be into, but you know what? We don't judge. Reveal those rocks all you like. Fortunately, they are inanimate, as you have the Queens is going to be there to hit the Oracles in return. Linking the +1. The Lings get a wrap around. The Queens will fight. Both Adepts shade out, but they're going to just die on the third base instead now. Does mean the drones had to pull those. So Solar taking a couple of losses. Not too bad. I've seen Solar take an absolute beatdown when it comes to kind of defending lately. So honestly, I don't think this is so bad on Solar's kind of front. I mean, we've seen so many games of his where he's losing 10 workers or so early in the game in these PvZs. So I do think that's a much better start than, like I say, what we maybe sometimes used to expecting out of Solar in this matchup lately. Stasis Ward catches a drone again. +1 and Blink both on the way. We had some probes on. Stalkers get there for the Overlord kill. 2 more Overlords popping out. The Hydra Den coming up. We have got ourselves a hatchery, and drones continue to produce. Also add in 7 Hydras on top of all that as well right now. Spine. Stalker's going to get rid of a couple of creep tumors. Solar really is loving this rush up to the Hydras. He's been doing it so frequently. Let's see if it's going to be good enough to help him against this Stalker count. As you do see a few units already kind of swept up to the top side, looking for the counterattack, looking to force some warpins back at home rather than fully focusing on the attack here. Solar will try and hold this high ground position. Revelation makes it so at least the Stalkers can see up the ramp, but that'll be about it. The Lings run by the third and then decide not to go in. Checking around to see if there's a fourth coming up they can maybe leap onto. That's another bunch of Stalkers warping in though, so it doesn't really feel like that'll be a factor. Although Baneling Nest starts, maybe those Lings become Banes for the run by eventually. They're on the move again. As Solar again has to deal with a lot of unit pressure right now. The Bane Nest is going to be important because we actually see Zealot's charge halfway done, and Zealot's warping in now too, which means that you really will have to start being ready to deal with charge lots, and obviously Banelings are a major way of doing that. We saw that earlier today when Solar rammed a bunch of Banes into Heroes Zealots. It worked very well. He lost the follow-up to that game, but it set him up in a good position, so that's what he's aiming for as he stretches across to play defense on the 4th base too. Shows MaxPax that he can, you know, go from one side to the other. He is going to meet the movement of that army without issue so far. A couple of Lings continue to go down, and Banes continue to produce. Probably Stalker's starting to be a little bit on the lower HP boss. You start to see some potential kills lining up as the Bane speed begins here in this army comp of Solar. Is kind of getting to where he wants it to be, 62 drones, so they're very close to kind of being fully at where he wants to play this. Stasis going off, but not really catching much of anything just yet. Now some Lings in the Hydra is going to come across, and they're going to go after some of those Zealots. Getting rid of those. The Bane speed still coming through here. The Stalkers pull back. +2 and Storm continuing on in. They're still fighting. Stalkers still taking hits. Just going to see the Storm and the +2 coming online as well. The Hydras will get there. The pylons take damage. So both of those getting whacked away at. The Stasis on the other side, setting up as well. And Storm is really not far from being done, which is going to give MaxPax such a better time against the entirety of Solar's army. Solar kind of needs to start attacking soon. He's going to have to 100% attack from split positions. He cannot really justify attacking in one big clump. Storm's going to be so good if we step forward a few Banes, kind of rolling towards, well, I was going to say towards the High Temple, they're going to get stopped, but they actually hit Zealots at least, which is one of the better things they could hit. First Storm, definitely very good. The next Storm, a little bit worse as the Hydras were stepped away from it, but then the next Storms again are very good. There's still a Storm available here. It drops down, a few Banes trying to chase through. We get to morph Archons off of those High Templar. Do we have enough Hydras just to power through? We do get rid of the base, so if nothing else, we're going to get a base kill here, so... Okay, Hydra count's still good. If we're completely out of splash damage, there is a world where this just continues, and it is going to be good enough for Solar. Is it really? This Archon's going to go down. The Stalkers need to kind of find some efficiency right here. High Templar's pulling back further into the natural. More Zealots coming through. I don't think Solar's going to have enough reinforcement. I mean, maybe he does still. I mean, it's going to come down to the next Storms. Those Storms coming from the natural in probably a few seconds are going to be massive. Just so many reinforcements that aren't here yet for Solar. The reinforcing distance definitely becoming a problem. And we get chased away, so Solar has to back it up, rebuild a little, obviously knock down a base. That's a big step in the right direction, but it's not like Solar's on some insane 70 drone economy compared to the 50 probes of MaxPax that remain. Not at all, and like I said, there's going to be Storms available again here for the next go-around, which is only going to complicate things further if you're MaxPax right now. Nexus goes to the bottom right, the Zealots picked off as the Link Hydra gets the kills there. Army towards that bottom right-hand corner, and the Hydra continues to come through. I'm going to try and cancel the fourth phase. If we can keep canceling the fourth, it definitely pushes you in a good position, but I still struggle to kind of fully believe in the army composition of Solar long-term. I'm just terrified that he's not going to be able to deal with Storms at all, and obviously Storms are a major part of MaxPax's army currently. Push back around to the center as those Archons and High Templars gather up, a few Stalkers as well. But the Banelings connecting, the Lings are going to get rid of some Zealots. Again, the Pylon's still coming through as MaxPax is, I didn't even look at the upgrades, but as well, like +3 attack upgrades means that his units are going to be packing punches. Meanwhile, Solar's units are going to be tickling with feathers when it comes to the fighting here. And here we go. Here the Banes connect nicely. We kind of dodge the Storm. It's not a bad effort from Solar. It's just you've got the worst army. And at the end, he is super desperate to have some reinforcements show up. Can get rid of a couple of the Archons. The High Templar goes down. There's really not a lot left for MaxPax. Like, it's close. It's very close. Solar is still just about maintaining position, I would say. It's just so difficult to do enough right now. I mean, he is kind of starving MaxPax on 3 bases. 2 Archons, multiple... Wow. Yeah, multiple High Templars and Storms available again, though, already. Just those being set to go again is absolutely massive. The army supplies are the exact same right now, which is, again, not a great sign. We do have to morph in the High Templars to Archons, but that's not going to matter. GG is called, and we are going to see MaxPax tie this series up. In the bottom right-hand side, I mean, I like this map for Solar's aggression, actually. As we get this underway, we do have our red Zerg player here, Solar. In the top left-hand side, our blue Protoss player is a MaxPax. Right, then game 3 of this series, we get this underway. Can we see MaxPax take another game? I mean, Solar's making every game close, if nothing else. I could say, nice to see him being so much more competitive lately in these events. Enjoying it a lot as Couple drones come through, a hatchery coming up, a gate and the assimilator coming up as well, so we get that continue to produce for the moment. Magic gas and spawning pool going down over on the other side. Magic gas and pool coming about, next in the cyber core coming through. It'll get settled. It's cool. Not far from finishing. Next is about halfway done. For a few moments. Again, we just settle down. Interested to see what MaxPax does opening wise. And does Solo also just try and go to hydras again? I feel like he's becoming very predictable by just moving toward the hydras on repeat, but it's kind of working. Like, it's not being overly punished, so... Yo, Andy, thank you for the 100 bits as well. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing great today. Thanks so much for the bits. Adept is going to come down the left-hand side. I'm just going to see the Stargate coming through, add a couple probes on as well. And Queen will shoot, and Adept takes some damage. Adept's going to try and find their way, and I do feel like Solo's been much tighter on his defense early game today than he oftentimes is in this matchup, so we have not seen a game where like tons of drones have just died off or anything, right? So in that regard, that's pretty neat. Just a couple of Adepts here going to try and move around. Oracle coming over from MaxPax, just going to head down to the bottom side as well. And there's another inject comes through. The couple of Adepts will continue to threaten downwards. And we just have the Adepts getting there again, picking off a Zergling once more. So doing a good job of this for the moment. Oracle activating, a couple drones going down. Again, the Queen's going to come across to chase said Oracle about a little bit as well. It's just going to come straight back over there. Queen's going to get there as well, hitting the Oracle too. So again, a little bit of back and forth resumes for the moment as those drones get back to mining as well. A couple of Adepts still being chased. Going to go see 1 and 2 both dropping. Drone control, but also 12 lings is a pretty sizable number, so a lot of early game units from Solo being taken down. You start to see MaxPax make that move into the Twilight, into that Forge, just into the next step of this in general here. And get that ready for yourself. And the Nexus continues to come through. And the Forge still both coming up. A couple of probes added in. Their drones, things, Overlord, all continue to produce on in. For the moment as well, so just bringing all of that online. Just going to drop down a few more gates up in the main base here as well. So again, just a bit of everything coming through currently here in this game 3. And again, it will be Blink that Solo has to contend with as he goes to Lair and 2 more gases. It feels like the Hydra Den is inevitable once again. Another little revelation. Drops in again. Overlord coming about. Again, a few more drones coming up. Hatch gas. And there is the Hydra Den as we kind of expected. A few more drones again though. MaxPax looking very good this game. At just keeping on finding ways to deal damage. So he's been a little bit better at kind of chewing through the economy of Solar and putting him into a bit of a worse spot in the early stages. And Solar has not really been fond of going beyond this 62 to 65 worker area. So, kind of expecting to spam units from here. The Overlord's already coming through. The first Hydra start immediately. I think he's got a catch on a Stalker. No blink just yet. Obviously, the first Hydra's coming up. Should be out in time to start greeting the Stalkers as they begin to arrive across the map. Especially as the Stalkers took a moment here to step back and to push the Lings away. There definitely becomes a little bit more time where that becomes feasible. More Stalkers just get warped in right off the bat again, so see those being brought straight through. The Stalkers now already jumping forward, going to go after Hydras. Yeah, I love that. Targets down 2 Hydras immediately. He's one-shotting them, so there's no chance for transfusions. And those are the moments which really go a long way for you here as the Zerg player, because, or as the Protoss player, because you're knocking down the real tech of the Zerg. You're stopping the Zerg from getting to the next stage already. And Storm starts immediately from MaxPax, which you can only agree with. You saw how just effective it could be in the previous game, and there's no reason it's going to be any less effective here against the eventual composition of Solar this time around. So, straight to Storm. I like it. I like it much more than being overly aggressive or trying to commit to something you don't really need to commit to or anything. Templa's gathering again. Storm not far from being done. Solar's going to attack a little earlier this game. Like, he gets across the map a little faster. Obviously, we kind of need the Storm to finish here still for MaxPax, as Solar is catching MaxPax having to blink back to get into position here. A few of the Zealots going down before charge is done is nice. This cannon going to go down as well. Obviously, those High Templar are just going to hide right in that mineral line, wait for their Storm to be available. They know the value that they provide. You know that you want to protect those, and that's exactly what we try to do. First Storm's coming down, so already just having to step away from the Mauling Hydra coming out. Again, Solar seems just very adamant on what he wants to try and make work for himself here. Again, this is going to be difficult. Every single moment you've got to be dodging Storms from now on. You cannot let any of these Storms land if you truly want to be competitive in this final game. I already feel like it's looking towards being a hold for MaxPax, though, to be honest. I really think having the Storm already just makes it just so tough, because then you're so limited as to how you can attack basically with these units. Being limited is really not where you want to be right now. Hydras and Lings get back onto a set of rocks, just going to try and open up a little bit of space, open up another attack angle, but we're expanding to a 4th here as MaxPax. Stasis wards are down, so you're going to have to do a lot of work to just dismantle the stasis ward setup now as well, so it's going to take even longer for a successful attack realistically. Let's see what we can do. First Storm's coming down left and right. The Hydra's already getting covered in Storms. I mean, is there enough firepower to get through? The army supply sort of hangs on for a little bit, but then a massive warp in the Zealots comes through. Do we have enough to protect these Hydras from the Zealots? The Zealots just trade so efficiently. We are going to start getting rid of a couple of these Archons, but there's just no buffer for these Hydras. You need something to protect them. A couple of Lings actually going to get a catch on the Archon as well, so that goes down. Stasis Ward will catch a few units. Are we actually competing here still as Solar? We might still be. And I thought it wasn't looking great. There's only Zealot Stalker left on the map. We haven't even warped in High Templar yet already to follow up with, although we do have a counterattack that'll take some attention of Solar away. Losing an Overlord as well. Again, guess what? It's Mauling Hydra. I'm surprised MaxPax has not been faster towards the High Templar rebuild. Warps them in now, morphs 2 of them into 2 Archons out of them as well. I just step up again. Pylon takes some damage. The Zerglings attacking through. The Zealots taking shots. And go down pretty quickly. The High Templar, it's another Storm. It's not the best Storm. It softens up a little bit. A lot of reliance on the Archons right now. Archons are a little funky because obviously they have a range issue, but there's also +2 attack, and there's also just money for MaxPax, and that is a GG from Solar. It's a double Protoss advancing through to the playoffs here out of Group A, as that is going to do it. That is going to seal the deal in this opening group of the Rex March Madness. Hey, you know what? This final series